Good morning, everybody. Hello. Hello, hello. What's up? How you doing? Welcome to the PreStream podcast. I'm Darkside Phil, and I welcome you here to the show. Indeed. Well, what's going on? You gonna tell me? Oh, that's right. I'm the one doing the show, not you. Oh. What's up, everyone? It's Sunday, the 15th of May, 2022. And today is the fallout from yesterday's really awesome 1-year return to YouTube anniversary marathon celebration. It was really good. I had a great time with it. And the feedback I'm getting is that viewers had a great time with it, which is awesome. I'm very happy to hear that people enjoyed and are, still watching. I mean, it was a good, let me think. I think I uploaded 7 videos. And each video was at least an hour to an hour and a half long. So you're talking like 9 or more hours of content to watch and get caught up on, right? Yeah, there's a little something for everyone. Whether you wanted to go on a trip down memory lane with me on yesterday's PreStream podcast, where we talked about how everything has gone here, being a full-time YouTuber for the last year, both stream-wise and, just YouTube channel-wise in general. Or whether you enjoyed the DSP Reacts to Down the Rabbit Hole Darkside Phil, which people have been asking for many, many years. Maybe you were here for Feasting with the King Thai food, which was very unique and interesting, and actually the food was all really delicious. Or perhaps you were here at the very end for WWE 2K22's first ever fantasy sim match, a 30-man over-the-top rope battle royale, right? Basically, no matter what you were watching, I hope you had a good time. The feedback I'm getting is very positive. Tons of comments, in particular on either the WWE Sim or the Down the Rabbit Hole React. And I'm happy that people are engaged and liking the content. If you just happen to get caught up on that right now, which I don't blame you because there's so much content that came out yesterday, right? Just remember, a great way to help the channel is to like the videos if you're enjoying them and leave comments on them. And there's also the ability to do super thanks on any video now on DSPGaming that has comments enabled. And of course, all of yesterday's videos do have comments enabled. So thank you in advance to anyone who contributes in any way that way. There actually was one person already who did a super thanks overnight, and I really appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. So, pretty cool, huh? Really good stuff yesterday. And what I can tell you is it basically went about as well as it could have gone. Given the circumstances, and what I mean by that is I had already done React content. It wasn't like this was the first time I was doing it. So it was funny because some people were under this impression that, because I was reacting to a video about me, that somehow it was going to have, ginormous attention and views. It didn't. It had good views. I think at one point we had 800 people on the stream, which is a lot. But it wasn't like Wings numbers. And what I mean by that is when I reacted to Wings of Redemption, I had over 1,000 people the entire time that I was reacting to his video. So, yeah, it was not comparative. You know what I'm saying? Support was good. I want to say thank you to anyone who supported the stream yesterday. And I really enjoyed having the new layout as well. It felt a lot more professional, having a cool new overlay. And, when I was doing the React video, having the cool new borders and everything on it, it really felt like a step up. You know what I'm saying? From the stuff that I would usually do, it felt a little bit more cool to have some stylized graphics and things like that. So, in general, it was a good day, but it was a tiring day. By the time I was done, I'd screamed so much at the WWE Sim match that I was losing my voice. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, watch the video. It's about an hour long. Oh my God. Crazy. I mean, there were cartoon characters, superheroes, supervillains, celebrities, content creators from the internet, all kinds of shit was in that match, and it was wild. I mean, when I do those matches, I have it as random order, so I have no idea what order the characters are actually going to come into the match, and I don't know what their abilities are, because these are characters that I just downloaded off the community creations online, so I have no idea what character's good, what character sucks, what moves they're going to do. It's pretty wild, to say the least. It was pretty interesting and intense. I would love to talk about it, but I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it yet, because that would spoil the surprise of some of the stuff that happens in the match, you see? So, it was pretty awesome. I had a great time yesterday. And anyone who was there, great, thanks. And if you were not there live, enjoy watching this stuff on demand after the fact. I think you really will enjoy it. Hold on one second. I actually want to open my blinds because it's actually cloudy outside today, and I want to get some natural wind or natural air and light. Oh, it's really cloudy today, so just maybe, because it's rainy and cloudy, I'll actually be able to leave my window open the entire stream. Doubtful, because you guys know what happens every time I do this, right? Starts off nice and cloudy, nice and cool. I'm like, oh, I'm feeling good. I get nice fresh air here in the room. And then halfway through the stream, the sun comes out. And it's like, oh, I can't even see. So I guess we'll see what happens. So, I am excited for today, and I hope you guys are too. Today, we get back into the swing of things with regularly scheduled gameplay playthroughs, okay? So, what are we doing today? Well, we're going to continue on with WWE 2K22's My Rise mode. Now, we started off this mode back on, was it Thursday? Whenever it was, then I started with WWE. I think it was Thursday. Actually, it might have been Wednesday now that I'm thinking about it. But yeah, when we started this up, basically we barely got to play at all. Like, seriously, we barely got to play at all. All right? Why? Because, number one, I was going to do showcase mode, and YouTube doesn't like that because showcase mode has clips of real matches in it, so my whole stream got shut down. Pretty stupid. So then I restarted the stream as a new stream for My Rise mode, and it took over an hour to make my character because the character creation sucks. Just being honest, it always has in these games, and they really haven't made it any better. It's just frustrating as shit. So, finally, when we got into the game, I only got to play for like a half an hour. So I kind of feel like I've only played WWE 2K22 for a half an hour at this point. So today we're going to get into the meat of it, all right? And obviously I'm excited to see what is in store for us in the... I call it my career because that's what it was always called up to this year. But this year they rebranded it My Rise. I hope it's good because people have been hyping this since March. They wanted me to play this game to do the My Rise mode. They've been so excited for it, and now I'm finally getting around to it. It's the featured stream. Like, this is the featured content I'm doing right now. There's no other new releases right now to really check out, so I'm focusing in on this for the next couple of weeks. And I hope that you guys will enjoy it. Seriously, I hope that you will, and I hope that it's fun. I'm looking forward to it. What we're going to do progression, and what I mean by that is I don't want to immediately have my character have an insanely good moveset. I don't want to have my character immediately have, like, branded merchandise and shit. Because actually someone by the name of Captain Charisma actually created a bunch of DSP logos and things that we can use in the game over the course of the playthrough. But what I feel like I should do is I should do just like in real WWE. So what happens in real WWE is you start off at the bottom. You're in developmental, right? There's really nothing going on because you're a nobody. But once you get off of developmental and you get onto the main television shows, now they start to push you as a character. And if you get into a new plot line, or you get a push, they call it, when you start to get popular because they start to put you on TV a lot more with the better matches and things, all of a sudden now you'll start to improve your moveset. You'll start to have merch with logos and things on it that are for your character. So what I'm thinking is we could kind of do a slow progression. Start off at the bottom, probably a stream or two will be in developmental trying to get onto the main shows. Once we get onto the main shows and we're getting more into interesting plot lines, now I'll be like, oh, let's improve the moveset. Let's add a new move or two or tweak a move here or two. Let's now add the logos. So I'll come out with a shirt that has a DSP logo on it or something like that. You see? I want to do like a actual progression like a real wrestler would do. And I have no idea how that's going to go. But I think we're going to try it. Now, I have some of these logos. I haven't had a chance to really upload them and try them yet. Because what you do is you make logos, on your PC and you upload it to their website. And then you can actually import it into the game. I don't know if it's from Community. I think it's from Community Creations. Yeah, you can import the logos and things from there. So, it should be exciting. It should be fun. And for those of you who like pro wrestling, you'll probably like it a little more, admittedly. But if you're here just to kind of chill and watch a silly thing, silly progression, some matches with a creative wrestler that looks shitty, because my character does look shitty, admittedly, this should be funny. It's going to be an entertaining time, I feel, as we go through the game. Now, people are saying that if you play the entire My Rise mode, it's about 25 hours long. Okay. Well, my streams are about 3 hours each, right? So if you do the math, you figure that's going to end up being like between, 8 to 10 streams, which would basically mean like 3 to 4 weeks, like a month. Am I really going to be playing WWE 2K22 for an entire month? I don't know. Here's how I approach it, okay? If you guys are having a good time, if I'm having a good time, and as long as there's some support when I stream it, obviously, let's keep it going. But what's happened typically with some of these WWE games over the years is that it gets stagnant, because here's what usually happens. It starts off exciting because you're in developmental, you're, first few matches, silly plot lines. You get to the main roster. Now you're wrestling the big wrestlers. It's really entertaining. But then what ends up happening is, guess what? It gets boring because there's a bunch of grinding stuff. You'll have kind of shitty plot lines you don't like, but you're stuck in them. Filler matches that aren't that interesting just to have gameplay in there. And it ends up being very repetitive. I remember one year I think I had like 1 million matches versus like R-Truth or something like that, and we just couldn't get out of them. So, we're going to see if that's how it is this year, because again, they rebranded the game. It's supposedly different now, right? Even the tagline of the game is "It hits different," because they supposedly changed the game around to make it better this year. So maybe my career is better. I don't know, okay? So, let's see what happens, and we'll go from there and play it by ear. If we end up getting bored after a week or two of this, we don't have to keep playing it. But if we have a lot of fun with it, then we'll keep going, okay? I feel like, I bought the game. Yes, indeed I did. But I'm not fully committed to doing an insanely long playthrough of it. The one thing that I will get longevity out of here is fantasy matches, okay? Fantasy matches in this game are fun. Like I said, we did that 30-man over-the-top rope battle royale yesterday. That was outstanding. Everyone had a great time with that. And I think doing those every once in a while for variety content purposes would be really entertaining and fun. So I definitely want to do that over time. And I usually do holiday-themed stuff. Maybe around Halloween, we'll do a bunch of horror icons wrestling. Maybe around Christmas, we'll do the King of Christmas, the return of the King of Christmas tournament. How cool would that be, right? So there's some fun stuff we can do when we get to it, all right? But let's see how it goes, and that'll determine how much I play. The truth of the matter is, I don't watch wrestling anymore. I've stopped entirely. It's been 2 years since I watched any wrestling. So, am I in on the plot lines and what's going on with the titles and stuff? Yeah, I follow wrestling trends on Twitter. So I learn what's going on in WWE and AEW, and I know who's on top and who's moving around and all that crap. But I literally don't see the matches. I don't watch it. So I'm not as big of a wrestling fan as I used to be, for sure. And so those of you who are wrestling fans probably will absolutely love this, but that's a niche audience. I know that not everyone who watches my content is a huge wrestling fan, although I'm sure some of you who are will be here for the WWE streams, okay? Ooh, excuse me. Cat's food was decent, Benson. Benson's asking about yesterday. I did Feasting with the King, and we ordered Thai food. I got a noodle dish, cashew noodles, and also a curry, I think it was called Penang curry. That was spicy with shrimp. And we also got some satay chicken as an appetizer. Cat got I think it was called like a Ramen noodle dish or something like that. Ranan or Ramen, something like that. And it was beef with vegetables, like it was spinach and some other veggies mixed in with the thick noodle with a peanut sauce. She liked the peanut sauce, but she felt that the dish was kind of mushy, which I agree. When these noodles showed up, they showed up in a bowl, which was nice. It was a nice plastic bowl. The problem is it steams on the way. So it's already cooked, and they toss it in there, and it self-steams itself on the way for delivery. So by the time it shows up, those noodles are like mush, and there's nothing you could do with it. You have to eat it fresh on a plate at a restaurant to not have that happen, you see? So not much I could do about that. She did like the flavors, but was disappointed. She was wishing that it wasn't so mushy. So there you go. Okay, no, not Radon noodles and not Radagon noodles. Let's stop that right now. I don't ever want to think about those names ever again. Well, until I do my second run. I guess I should give a minor update on that. So, when I beat Elden Ring last week, when the game ended, it immediately prompts me. Now, I'm not thinking at all. I just beat the game. I'm all exhausted. I'm just happy that after over 2 months, I beat the game, over 120 hours, right? The game pops up, oh, do you want to start New Game Plus right now or not? And I'm like, I don't know. And I clicked yes. So people already have contacted me, and they're like, dude, you realize how badly you screwed yourself? Like, come on. Like this game doesn't screw you enough. I really have to hear that I screwed myself, right? So apparently what's going to happen is, unless I want to completely start the game over from scratch, I have to, if let's say a DLC comes out at the end of this year, well, guess what? Most DLCs you can't just start from the beginning of the game. You have to get to a certain level of the game to reach them. So when people are like, oh, guess what? You kind of screwed up because now you have to play through the game again to get whatever point you need to do to access that DLC. And you click the New Game Plus, which means you're locked into a tougher version of the game, so the DLC might be even harder. I was like, you know what? I don't even care at this point. I really don't. You know, you play a game for 122 fucking hours. You would think they wouldn't present you with such an important decision at the very end like that. Just be like, fuck it. If you're going to do New Game Plus, right, go back to the roundtable hold, and then there's a new option for it. Now, the moment you beat the game, do you want New Game Plus? Like, come on. But I really don't care. What we'll do is when DLC is announced, okay, whenever that may be, that is when we will decide what I'm going to do, and likely I'm going to do a second run at that point, but it's going to be, I guess, a New Game Plus run. What sucks is I don't think you can respec until you get to the Academy, right? So I'd have to replay, I'd have to turbo through the game to get to the Academy, so now I can respec my guy as a different build, you see? So I think that's what we'll have to do. Like, if DLC is announced, let's say DLC is coming out in October, like they did with Bloodborne, right? So what I'll do in September, I'll start up a New Game Plus run. We'll start playing it again regularly. Get to the Academy, respec to be a different build so that it's fun again. I don't want to do the same build again, you know? And go from there and get to the point where we know the DLC will start, so at least I can start it right away when it comes out. Okay? So, there you go. That's what's going to happen with Elden Ring in the future, just so you guys know. All right. So today's main stream is WWE 2K22 My Rise mode. Tonight, the late stream is Halo Infinite multiplayer. This will be my third session since I started playing it last weekend to celebrate the release of Season 2. I'm hoping that over time it grows a little bit more on me. I am liking it, by the way. Like, you can tell when I'm playing it, I am still having a good time. Especially when I get stuff going and all of a sudden I get like a kill streak or whatever. It's a lot of fun. But at the same time, I am a little disappointed. There's barely any new content in it. And the new modes, like the last Spartan Standing mode, I really don't care for. I feel like I'll get better at it as I play it, but it's kind of lame. Like, you do better in that mode by hiding and doing nothing, I feel, than actually fighting. Like, if you just wait till the end to do anything, you'll have more lives, and you have a better chance of winning it, right? I mean, I already made top 3 in my first few attempts playing it. Likely I'm going to start winning it soon, okay? We'll see. But tonight, Halo Infinite multiplayer. I'm not even sure what modes we'll do. We'll probably do a variety of stuff as usual. Try to hit those goals that are in the game to try to unlock the unlockables. And I hope you guys will join and support multiplayer. I like doing variety of multiplayer. I really enjoyed playing Halo Infinite for like almost 3 months, and then I put it on hiatus, and now I'm back. So I hope you guys will check it out tonight, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time. Okay? All right. Tomorrow, we're continuing on with Skyrim Anniversary Edition, the Dragonborn DLC on the first stream. Having a lot of fun with this DLC. I like that there's new enemy types. I like that there's interesting plot lines. And we've unlocked a lot of different missions that we're kind of in the middle of. So we'll just continue on with that. Should be a good one. And then tomorrow night is the continuation of Mirror's Edge. I really enjoyed jumping back into Mirror's Edge after having not played it for almost 14 years. Yeah, I've only played Mirror's Edge once ever. And it was my original playthrough of the game way back in the day when I was still a brand new YouTuber recording with a camera and all of that. It's funny because looking side by side at the first playthrough I did and now is, oh my god, straight screen, full 1080p HD, no pixelization, beautiful graphics, and the sound, the music really comes through now in this fucking run that I'm doing. I really love that I'm doing it again, because definitely my first playthrough did not do the game justice, for sure. However, I will say this. It wasn't supported well at all. Attendance was good. Engagement was good. But there was almost no contributions to support the playthrough. And that disappointed me, because I have the intention over the next couple of months into the summertime to likely play a lot of kind of throwback retro playthroughs like this. Things that I've done before but I want to redo because I want them to look better, or a game that's from my childhood and I've only played it once and I want to replay it. I actually have a few other ideas too of things that I want to do. Games that I actually am interested in playing. But when this happens, when the first attempt I do to play something kind of throwback doesn't get any support, it really disappoints me. I hope that it was a fluke and I hope that maybe we'll do better on Monday night. Now, here's the good news. Mirror's Edge is not a long game. It's only going to take me 2 more streams to beat it tops. There's no way it would take more than another 4 hours to beat it. It's a short game. So I hope that basically it will flip and people will come support it. Now that I kind of talked about it, I talked about it that day in the daily wrap. I'm now talking about it on the PreStream podcast. I really hope people will come out to support it. All right. It's funny because a lot of people have comments on the video like, "Oh, I love this playthrough. This is a throwback for me." So if people like it, hopefully they'll now understand. All right. I'm off from streaming on Tuesday. This coming week will be a balance. The main streams will be a balance between WWE 2K22, My Rise, and Skyrim. Okay? I might throw a monkey wrench in there one day. I'm not sure. But for the most part, that's going to be the major focus for the next week. And then the night streams will be alternated between the conclusion of Mirror's Edge, Halo Infinite, Friday Night Fights, and then once we beat Mirror's Edge, which is very likely it's going to happen by like Thursday, we got to start something new on the night streams. Now, I have many options about this. We could do something else off Game Pass that maybe I've held off on doing or have started but didn't continue. Or I am strongly leaning towards doing a retro playthrough from my childhood, like maybe Legend of Zelda Link to the Past or Earthbound. The reason I say those two is because they are readily available right now on Nintendo Online, as opposed to, I want to play Chrono Trigger a lot, but I don't know how I would play it. It's not available like anywhere right now on Nintendo. They don't have it digitally. They're idiotic for that reason. I believe at one point it was available on an older console, but now it's not on the Switch, and you can't play it any other way. Some people were like, oh, you can get it on the 3DS, but I haven't used my 3DS in so long, I don't even know if it works. I don't even know where the cable is to plug it into my PC. I have no, you know what I mean? Like, you're talking pulling out equipment I haven't used in 5 years and trying to get it to work. I'm probably not going to work. So I am interested in doing a retro playthrough like that. And if that's the case, all right, I'm wondering which one you guys would like to see more. Would you rather see Zelda Link to the Past, or would you rather see Earthbound? They're very different styles of games, that's for sure. Each game, though, would lend itself to a more chill playthrough, meaning I could talk with you guys a lot more, have a lot of interaction while we play the games, as opposed to it just being about, you know, the game entirely. I feel like you guys would enjoy it either one, but I mean, I would enjoy either one, that's for sure. But definitely they're very different, all right? So I'm curious, and what I might do, start asking you guys over the next, you know, few days, because if it's going to be later on this week or next weekend that I start this, obviously I want to get your opinions. May even do a poll to determine between the two. I'll have to think about it. But again, I'm not dead set on doing that. It's just a really strong idea that I feel like I want to do, unless you guys can come up with something better. Okay, so that's the schedule for the week. Now, when are the next new releases coming out that I'm interested in? Well, at the very tail end of this month, we've got Sniper Elite 5 coming out on May 26th on Game Pass, okay? So, as a Game Pass game, obviously it dramatically increases my chances of checking it out. I did play Sniper Elite 4 on Game Pass for a whole stream, and you guys were of the impression that initially it was alright, but it got boring during the stream. That it's too much stealth, and it wasn't too exciting to watch me try to figure out how to snipe things after, you know, the first couple of hours. So maybe what we'll do is check out Sniper Elite 5 for one major stream when it comes out, and determine if you guys like it enough that you want to see me continue to do it as a playthrough, or just try it the once. There's no pressure. It's on Game Pass, so might as well give it a go. On the 27th, the day after, Pac-Man Museum Plus comes out, and apparently, from what I'm to understand, this is a kind of homage to Pac-Man. It's going to have all these games that are different variations of various Pac-Man games, plus other stuff that would be kind of neat. And again, it's Game Pass. So because it's Game Pass, why not check it out, right? Even if we play it once and it's boring after that, fine. At least we just got a chance to check it out. And again, this is the advantage of Game Pass. I get to try new stuff that normally I wouldn't have just because it's on there and it sounds interesting, right? So, those are the two games at the very end of the month. Admittedly, after that, it's dead again, all the way until mid-June, when we do have a few high-profile new releases, and Mario Strikers Battle League, as well as The Quarry. And at the end of June, we got way more interesting games, like Sonic Origins, Capcom Fighting Collection, Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Houses, and Cuphead The Delicious Last Course. So basically, when we get to the second half of June, wow, we're good. We got lots of stuff to do, all right? But we got a lot of dead time in between. So we will talk about what you guys would like to see, all right? And hopefully we can determine what will be the best thing to do for kind of a lot of this downtime. Now, some people in the chat are saying Hollow Knight, and I understand that. I understand that some people want it. There seems to be a vocal group of people who like Hollow Knight. You guys realize I played it, right? I have it. I played it. It didn't even do well. I'm just being honest. Like, we played it during an event, and people were bored and told me to do something else when I was playing it. I'm not kidding. It's like those kind of games. It's a Metroidvania-style game, but it's a little more difficult with combat that a lot of people compare to, like, Dark Souls. It didn't do that well. And when I was playing it, I was even saying, man, I actually really like this game, and I think I'd like to play it again. But it just, I understand what I think what it is there's a vocal minority of people who like it, all right? And what that means is it has a niche group of people who really enjoy this game and talk about it and want to see content creators play it. But overall, my general audience isn't interested. Now, I'm not saying I wouldn't play it at all. But what you guys got to understand is if I'm going to play Hollow Knight, it would have to be a playthrough that essentially is like a night stream that hopefully people will show up and support. Okay? But I don't know. Ellipsian says, the viewers back then were different from now. The viewers a year ago? Not really. About the same audience now. That's what we're talking about. This wasn't years and years ago. This was like a year and a half ago, I think, that I tried it during a marathon. People had wanted it. I played it. I liked it. But people were like, oh, move on to the next game. Move on to the next game. They got, like I said, everyone likes it for like an hour. And then after an hour, they get bored of it. It's funny, like the only Metroidvania game that I've played in recent memory that worked was Metroid Prime. Or excuse me, Metroid Dread. That was it. After, everything else, like, no one really cares about. So I'll consider it. I'll definitely consider it. If you guys really want to see me at some point here play I said Metroid again. Play Hollow Knight, I would consider it. I'm not against it. I just need people to show up and support it. That's my concern is, I announce it, we schedule it, I do it, and just like with Mirror's Edge, we get a dead stream with no support. It sucks. You know what really sucks? I hate to have that as a consideration. I really do. Because I'll give you an example. On the Mirror's Edge stream, I had fun, the viewers had fun, there was engagement, so everything works, right? Except support was almost non-existent. That blows. I have to factor that in. It's a business as well as a hobby here. It's what I love, but also how I make my living, and I got to have streams that I can pay bills with. And I don't like having that could be a consideration all the time, but right now it just is, That's just the reality of my situation until things get better. And things will get better. If you haven't noticed, subs are up, engagement. Everything is getting better. It's a slow build here on YouTube. It takes a while, but eventually I think we'll get there. We'll get to the point where I'll be kind of back at Twitch levels. It's just a slow build, okay? Okay. All right, so guys, thanks. That was a good discussion. Now, there's one thing I would like to bring your attention to because it's been a big topic of contention over the last couple of weeks, all right? This right here. If you haven't noticed, it's changed a bit, all right? So, here's what happened. Last month, we had a goal to hit 400 members on this channel, and if we hit that goal, I was going to do a new DSP Reacts event where I was going to react to Down the Rabbit Hole Dark Side Phil. I initially announced that as my goal last month, and honestly, people weren't super interested. I got maybe another 20, 30 members, and then it just went stagnated, and we were stuck at like 370-something for like the first 2 weeks of the month. And I was like, I don't really understand. You guys have asked me for this for so many years, right? What's going to happen? Why can't I motivate people to become members? And the feedback I got was, it's not you, it's YouTube. We don't like the features that YouTube offers for members. Twitch was better. Now, I can't make YouTube be Twitch, right? But what I could do is try to give you guys incentive. So I did DSP Reacts to Down the Rabbit Hole Wings of Redemption. This gave you a taste of what the DSP React series would be like, okay? People loved it. By far, outside of my Elden Ring playthrough, the most popular thing that I've done on this channel in a while, okay? So, with people loving that, a lot of people said, oh, that was really good, and I would like to see Phil react to his own video next. And everyone's like, he will, if we hit the members goal. Oh, okay. And then a bunch of people became members, and in fact, we exceeded the goal. We hit 410 members by the end of April, okay? So, oh, my nose itches. So, that being said, okay, that being said, now we start a new month, the month of May. And I'm like, well, obviously the goal is to continuously grow the channel. So, if I'm already at 410 members, what would be a realistic thing to grow the channel? About 450 members, right? We can get another 40 people to become a member over the month, especially with the fact subs are constantly going up now and everything. Yeah, we could do that. So I set the goal for 450 members. And I said, well, I really don't have a set idea yet of what I want to do. But what we could do is try to brainstorm some ideas of other things you guys would like to see me react to that's not down the rabbit hole. Because I think that what's going on now is people have seen me react to 3 different down the rabbit hole videos. It kind of gets tiring. And you guys want to see me react to other stuff. So, I think that's what I want to do, right? And we were talking about it, and it kind of came to a consensus that there's 2 things that I think people would like to see me do. Number 1, react to the original This Is How You Don't Play, the one that started the entire negative movement against me on the internet 10 years ago. It's Metal Gear Solid 2, by the way. Or react to the video. It's not even really a video. It's an audio recording. It's such a weird anomaly of John Rambo and Howard that they released on the internet in 2015 that essentially revealed a bunch of gripes and complaints that they had about me from over the years that they never actually told me about. But basically they used that video, or I say recording, as a way to basically end our friendship and make it known that they didn't want to have anything to do with me anymore. Okay? So, 2 completely different kinds of things to react to, neither of which have I ever really fully said much about. Every once in a while, someone would ask me about, what do you think about This Is How You Don't Play? Or someone would ask me about, what do you think about that, what John and Howard said about you? And I would comment, off the cuff, but I've never actually in-depth addressed either of those things, okay? Now that I'm actually doing these React projects, people really seem to like the fact that I'm doing in-depth reactions and addressing everything. Like yesterday, going through a 30-minute video about me and literally turning it into 4 hours of content because there was so much to elaborate on and clarify and give context to. People really seem to enjoy that, okay? So, that all being said, I think either one would be great, okay? So I had a goal of 450 members. And what would happen is when we hit it, people would vote on what they wanted to see me react to next. We'd actually build it up. Just like we did this last one yesterday. We'd build it up. We'd probably do an event around it. Maybe a whole marathon where maybe we'll do Feasting with the King again. We'll do that. We'll do something else special. Something fun. Well, within like 4 days, okay, of the month starting this month, we went from 410 members to like 370. So what happened was no one renewed their memberships. They saw the reward, they liked the reward, they locked in on getting the reward, and they said, I don't need to renew anymore. And then they just dropped it. And I was like, well, that's disheartening. Probably was a rallying of people. They really wanted to see me react to my own down the rabbit hole. But then after that, they were like, well, we don't like the features here on YouTube, so we're not going to continue to be a member. And I've been trying to convince you guys and tell you about the benefits, and it doesn't work. People just don't like memberships on YouTube. It's like there's this negative stigma against them. I wish YouTube would wise up, and I wish YouTube would actually add the features that Twitch has. I really feel the following. Maybe I'm off base, but here's what happened over on Twitch. As I was a streamer on Twitch, all of a sudden they announced gifted subscriptions. Meaning, people could gift a paid subscription to their fellow viewer, their friend, or just drop a whole bomb on a stream. Boom. All of a sudden, 20, 30 people now are subscribers, and they get all the features of being a subscriber. Not to say that that's long-term growth, but what would happen every time when someone dropped a sub bomb on my channel, at least a few of those people would say, oh, never had a sub before, but I really liked the benefits of having the sub this month. I liked having a highlighted name, a chat crown badge, having all fills emotes. It was a lot of cool benefits. I want to keep that going. So even if I got 1 or 2 long-term subs out of the deal, every time a sub bomb dropped, it helped the channel long-term. Okay? And what ended up happening was it ended up being growth, actual real organic growth over time based on short-term sub bombs. All right? So my channel went from having like 200 subs to 300 to 400 to 600 to 800, and then it fluctuated a bit, and I basically kind of got leveled in there between 600 to 800 subs, and every month it would fluctuate. It would go up and down like this. But just think about that. 600 to 800 people each paying $5 a month for a paid subscription, of which I get about half That's a lot of consistent income that I was making over on Twitch on those subscriptions. Here on YouTube, I currently have 380 members, out of which I get about $2 a member. So do the math. 250 times like 800 versus $2 times 380, it's like less than half. And that's my problem, is I've had a sharp decrease in income since I left Twitch and came over here to YouTube, and I haven't gotten it back. Okay? So I really feel that until YouTube implements things like the gifted memberships, if someone comes on the stream and says, I want to help out the channel and the people watching, I'm going to drop a membership bomb. 20 members. Boom. 20 people immediately get memberships. Maybe not all, but maybe one or two of those people would say, man, I really like the membership. I want to keep it. And this is what happens. And it's good. It's growth for the channel. And it sucks that they just won't do it. They're testing it right now. They gave it to the big content creators. Have it now. Oh, really? How nice, because they really fucking needed it, right? They're not already rolling in dough. They're the ones who need the gifted memberships, right? Right? Don't give it to the people trying to make a living, you know, the real people down here who aren't giant fucking celebrities and shit. Give it to the people who are already rich. That's a really good idea. Just always makes sense for, you know, fucking idiots. But anyway, I applied for the gifted memberships. Haven't heard back. Probably won't hear back. I would guess they're not going to give them to me. I would guess what they're going to do is they're probably going to give them to me when they go site-wide with it. They'll probably do this slow rollout for the big guys, and then all of a sudden one day, just like they did with Super Thanks, they'll flip the switch and everyone will have them. But who knows when that will be? That might not be till the end of the year or next year. Who knows? YouTube moves at a snail's pace, okay? So, with all this, you know, going through my mind, I'm like, dude, there's no way we're going to hit 450 members. Here's what I was really hoping. I was hoping that yesterday, when I did my Down the Rabbit Hole react, that maybe that people would watch and be like, wow, I really like this. I would love to see Phil do this on either the This Is How You Don't Play or the Rambo Howard video. So let's become members to make it happen. We got 4 members yesterday. 4. Okay? So it's not going to happen. So what I need to do is be more realistic. Now, obviously, the point of a member's goal is growth, right? There's no point in doing a member's goal that's lower than the member's goal we already had. And there's no point in doing a member's goal below the maximum we've already hit here. We hit 410. So I decided to make it way more reasonable. Okay? And I said, let's do 425. At least now, I feel like this is at least within a reasonable reach that we could have, you know, about 35, 40 people become a member by the end of the month. Actually, what is the math here? 25, 37. 37 people become a member by the end of the month. We had 410. All right? We had that already. I think it's way more reasonable. Okay? And the thing is, when it's a closer goal and it feels more attainable, it might give more people incentive to become a member. All right? So please, if you're not a member yet, or if you were a member and you let it lapse, I would love to immediately get the poll up where you guys would vote. Do you want to see DSP reacts to This Is How You Don't Play, or DSP reacts to the John, Rambo, and Howard video? I would love to get that going right now. And that way we could start planning. We could say, okay, maybe in 2-3 weeks, or maybe actually it would be more 3-4 weeks. We can plan out the event, when it's going to be. It'll be a nice, fun event again, just like this weekend's was, you know. So, yeah, please consider becoming a member. All right? Membership has many benefits. Highlighted name. Don't have to abide by slow mode if you're watching a stream and chatting. You get a cool chat crown badge. You get access to all my emotes. By the way, all that stuff applies both to live streams and on-demand videos. Now that the comments are back, I should emphasize you get all those benefits on the on-demand videos as well in the comments. Okay? You get priority access to various events. For example, when I do my next Ask the King, members get priority to get their questions answered in full on the show. When I do special events where things need to be nominated and voted on, members always get priority as well. So, please consider becoming a member if you can. It helps the channel. It helps out with consistent income for me behind the scenes, but also it creates growth, and we can do a special event as a result of hitting the goal. All right? I'm not going to sit here and talk about memberships all day. I want to talk about it now. I felt like it was a good time to talk about it in the pre-stream segment. And you're not going to hear me harping on it. Maybe once a day you'll hear me talk about it. But I just don't want to sit here and talk about this shit all day. I want to enjoy games. You know what I'm saying? All right. So normally, this would be the segment where I would do shout-outs. Okay? However, We have 0 contributions today. Nothing. No tips, no memberships, no super chats, no super stickers. So I have nothing to shout out. So instead, I guess we're just going to go to open Q&A. There is 0 news today. 0. No gaming news has happened. So instead of that, I guess we're just going to open it up. And if anyone has anything to talk about, tag me in the chat. And we'll have a little conversation. Because there ain't nothing else to talk about. Okay? Okay. Javante says, feels like we're being shamed for not tipping. I'm stating facts. If you feel that facts shame you, well, then maybe you should look at yourself and wonder why you're feeling ashamed. Because all I did was state a fact. There's no contributions. There's no shout-outs. Okay, then. Do the banana song right now, says Amcy. I don't know the banana song. I really don't know it. Do I still back up my videos on hard drives? No. As I said, I stopped doing that years ago. It was expensive to keep buying the external hard drives, and there was no benefit to doing it. My top 5 feasting cuisines? You mean during Feasting with the King? I have to think back to all the episodes we've done and which ones I liked, right? I think the one, I would say the top one that really blew me away out of all the Feasting with the Kings that I've done in the last year was the Mediterranean episode. That I never had the stuff in that episode, like having the falafel with the hummus and stuff, and eating it. I was like, these flavors are insanely good. Like the falafel and the hummus together, I couldn't believe the amount of flavor. I was blown the fuck away by the flavors that were happening in my mouth at the time. At the same time, you know, there were some other things there, like the stuffed grape leaves. It was like, meh, it's kind of weird with the citrus flavor combined, the tangy citrus with everything else in there was kind of a weird flavor. But man, that totally blew me away. Outside of that, you know, there's been good ones. I'm trying to remember the first one. Oh, the Indian one. The first one we did, Indian food with the goat curry, was really good, and the naan bread was delicious. If you remember when we did, the Sonic one was not that good, and the Filipino food was not that good. What else did we do? We did Mexican. The Mexican was good, although it was more an experiment in trying things I never had before. Like, remember I had the crazy, was it the stuffed poblano pepper? I forget what it's called. I thought it was a chicken breast. I was looking at it like, what is that? I start cutting it up. I'm like, that's a stuffed pepper? Holy shit. It was funny because I thought it tasted all right. I thought it could have tasted better. I wish it was more spicy. I was shocked that it wasn't as spicy. I can't actually remember all of them off the top of my head. If anyone could remember them. But those, I would say those are definitely Mediterranean is the top one for me. That's like the one that shocked me that it was so effing good because I never expected it to have those kind of flavors, and it did. Young Swaggy did a $2 tip, or excuse me, $2 super chat. Says, did you ever play any of the early 2000s WWE games? No. I started playing WWE games when they came to the PlayStation 2 with games like SmackDown Here Comes the Pain, and then when it became the Raw versus SmackDown series, like those are the ones that I was playing. And I had a multi-tap on my PS2. All my friends at the time were wrestling fans, so we'd come over and do like 6-man, you know, wrestling matches against each other, which was really funny because sometimes we have creative wrestlers and stuff that were really stupid. I made a version of Batista. This is before Batista was even in the games, so I made my own created Batista. And he would repeatedly powerbomb you over and over. Every time he did a move, it would be 3 power bombs. And the animation took so long, I would troll the shit out of my friends, keep doing it. And they're like, stop it! The animation's too fucking long. Stop doing that move. Okay. I'm just gonna ban this idiot who's asking the dumbest questions like, is drinking and driving good? No, fuckface. Get out of here. Stupid idiot. Would I ever go back to Dead Cells as Yoshino Lover? I'll be honest with you, I don't remember it. I really don't remember Dead Cells. I think I have it because it was on Game Pass, but I don't remember the game. I'm not against playing it again if people want to see it. No, I will not use my phone to look up the banana song on YouTube. Stupid. Kevin Bernstein did a super chat. Says, can we watch public domain films on stream? I mean, legally, I do think that would be possible, right? As long as it is a public domain movie that no longer has a copyright anywhere. But I guess the question would be, is there a listing of very popular or well-watched public domain movies that everyone does it to that we know are safe? because obviously I have to do something that I know is safe. I can't take a chance, you know. But I mean, I'm not against that. That could be something different. When is the next Sim or Fantasy Rumble? That I can't answer, Bobo Bone. I like doing them, but here's the thing. If you do them all the time, they get stale. The reason that they work is because if you do them every once in a while, there's a lot of new created content that gets added to the created area of the game. And when you look there, there's all kinds of new stuff you could download. Right now, likely, I could probably do 2 or 3 more 30-man over-the-top battle royals that would be really entertaining. But after that, it's going to get stagnant. So I would say at most often, maybe once a month. At most often. There's no way I would want to do more than 1 a month. That would be too much. What I would say is later on this year, when we start to hit the holidays, right? Well, you know, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, we could do special events for those where I could do, like I said, Halloween, you could have all these horror movie monsters and slasher killers and stuff wrestling in a silly match, a gimmick match of some sort. You see? That's fun to do that kind of stuff. So we'll talk more about it, you know, soon, I'm sure, but I definitely don't want to jump right into another match after that one. We've got to make it special. I'm glad to hear you enjoyed the reaction videos, Jamie. Do I think the future is looking good, says Ryan Wilson? At this point, I don't want to jinx it. Because every time, I swear to God, every fucking time that I open my mouth and I say, oh, things are looking good. Look what happened last year. Last year, early on in the year, people were asking me, what are your plans? What do you think is, you know, happening? I said, well, you know, things are looking good. Because here's why. Money-wise, I was making good money on Twitch. I was finally out of all of my debt, except for back taxes. That was the one thing that was still, like, dragging down on me. But outside of that, that was, like, the one thing, back taxes. Everything else wasn't a problem anymore. And I was like, wow, so if things keep going the way they're going, I'm making the money I'm making, and we don't have any problems or interruptions, I could probably improve my setup. I could probably start saving money. I could maybe take some more time off every week to spend with my family. Maybe I could go on a honeymoon. I was outlining all these cool, positive things that I could do, and then what happens? Well, I lose my partnership with Twitch. Great. And then after that, what was the other thing, too? Because there were 2 stupid things that happened that screwed me over. I can't even remember what the other thing was. But essentially, you know, immediately, boom, boom, here you go, now you're fucked. And I'm like, unreal. And why did I open my mouth? It's like the moment that I start to plan something positive, something negative happens that screws me over. Right now, things are uncertain for me. All right? I'm just being honest with you guys. Like, things are kind of in limbo. I got to see what's going to happen for the rest of this year. I wish I could promise you guys, you know, the world, but I can't. I don't know what's going to happen right now with a few different things going on behind the scenes. So I would like to say, oh, yeah, let's definitely do this and this, and I can't. All right? What I could say is, like I said, what we should do is we should start to talk about in the next couple of months, upgrading my setup. What would I look for in an upgraded setup? Is there particular components for a computer I would need, or should I try to go for a pre-built? If I go for a pre-built, what's the best way to go about fundraising for it? Should I do a series of marathon streams or a series of events once a week, something special to try to raise the funds for it, right? We can talk about that, all right? But I guess that's it. You know, I wish I could start planning, you know, stuff. I just don't want to. I really don't. I don't want to jinx it, because right now I'm enjoying the work side of things. My personal life's pretty good, right? But you never know when something's going to rear its ugly head and screw you over, and there's potential that could definitely happen. So I'm just not going to say nothing. Okay. Ross Hardy says, the fighting game community portion of your reaction to the Down the Rabbit Hole yesterday was a great insight as to how childish the fighting game community really can be. Great stream. Oh, you have no idea. Like, the fighting game community a long time ago, I'm talking pre-Street Fighter 4, was very much like this weird, like, everyone in the fighting game community wanted to pretend like they were hardcore fucking people. Oh, we're like real tough guys. Like, dude, you stand there on an arcade machine, you play a fucking fighting video game. You're not a tough guy. But everyone acted like that, including me. Everyone acted like they were some kind of big tough guy because they were good at a game or whatever. I was like, what are you talking about? And there were rivalries where people were like, I'm going to fuck you up in real life when we play and this and that. It was like, geez, why is this shit going so serious? I just don't understand it, you know? But you look at it today and you look at it from that perspective. Back then, it was, like I said, it was really like a pro wrestling rivalry, or like, seriously, like almost like, I hate to say it, like gang rivalries. Like, it was East Coast versus West Coast, and which coast is the best coast between the two, and you got to be on one side or the other, and you got to pick a side. You got to be on one side. It was like, what? It's fucking Street Fighter fighting video games. What are you talking about? But that's exactly how it was. It was absolutely stupid, ridiculous nonsense. I don't know why it was like that, because when I got into the community, it was already like that. It wasn't like I was in its formative years. I didn't start competitively playing Street Fighter until the late 90s and early 2000s. But Street Fighter 2 came out in like 1991, 92. And that, we're talking a whole 8 years where I wasn't in competitive Street Fighter where it got like that. And then I joined it. It was already in motion by the time that I put my foot into the pool. So, kind of weird. Kind of weird, man. Yeah. Hobo X, that's incorrect. He says, I heard another YouTuber say it's bad to private stream archives. It removes the engagement from your channel. Sounds like when you had to delete videos for DMCA. It's wrong. The only time you remove engagement from your channel is if you actually delete the video. Privating videos does not delete engagement. I can tell you right now because it's on there right now. And I look at my metrics in the YouTube app, and those videos are still there. Sometimes it says that a stream is my most engaged video of a month, and it counts to the channel. It'll only not count if you delete the video entirely. That's bad. When you delete the video, it deletes the metrics of everything, including views, likes, dislikes, comments, any kind of contribution on that video. For example, if someone did super thanks or whatever, and stats, like if someone did super chats, super stickers, memberships during the live stream, it deletes all that data from your channel, and then it hurts it. Privating does not affect it negatively. I've tested it myself. It does not. Matrix91 did a super chat and says I should play Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes on GameCube. Matrix movie effect video game, basically. It's ridiculously funny. Did I play Twin Snakes? I swear I played it. Didn't it come out on a PlayStation 3 in a collection about a decade ago, and I played it? I'm almost positive I played this game. I think I did it co-op with John Rambo, actually. This is all ringing a bell now. Keep in mind, this was before I really respected the Metal Gear Solid franchise. This is more when I was just known for making fun of it. But I'm pretty sure I already played it. Scrupulous says, what Street Fighter character would I say I resemble most in an in-real-life fight? Of course, we're going to say E Honda. Come on. I'm spitting an image of him. Do I miss John Rambo? To some extent, yes. I miss the fun we had together, the camaraderie, having someone to just shoot the shit about, talking about life. Yeah, of course I do. Pretty much a no-brainer. I don't know anything about the speedrun community, Lemon Cat, so I don't know how you compare the Street Fighter community to that because I have no frame of reference. I've never even seen like a formal speedrun in my life. Bama Ham Yum did a super chat saying WWE Fantasy Sim was epic. Can we do it again? Like literally someone just asked that. And I'll answer again. Yes, we can, but I don't want to do them all the time. Because if you do them all the time, then they're not special. And in addition, if you do them all the time, you exhaust the created character options and it becomes repetitive and boring because you're doing the same characters over and over. So at most, I would do one once a month. And usually for like if there's a special event going on, do it and coincide with that special event. So it feels like something special and there's more people to watch it. Is Street Fighter 6's logo the worst logo ever? Yes, it is official. It is the worst logo ever. I want to try something. See, it works again. So this is a new animation that was made for the stream. And it was working. And then all of a sudden yesterday, I used it once or twice, it was working. And then when I went to do it again, it stopped working. It had frozen. And I don't know why it had frozen. I don't know why it had frozen. Now it's working again. Weird. I wonder what causes that. Okay. Do I plan on seeing the new Doctor Strange movie? No. No. And in fact, we got rid of a lot of our streaming services. We got rid of Disney Plus now because we just weren't watching it that often. And we have to really cut corners now with money. Money has not been great. As you guys know, I've been telling you guys in recent months, sometimes week to week, we're living with not enough money. So we're trying to get rid of every possible thing to save some money. And that was something that we really weren't using that much. The only, excuse me, the only service we use all the time is Hulu. We do watch a ton of stuff on Hulu. So we still have Hulu. But outside of that, we got rid of pretty much everything else. So. Appearing on being somewhat known by wrestlers that are gamers like Adam Cole and Kenny Omega isn't a compliment. They don't know me. They know the memes. You know what I'm saying? They know memes about me. That's it. They don't know the real me. They've never watched a piece of my content. They just know the memes like everyone else. They probably watched Down the Rabbit Hole, Dark Side Phil, and know generalities about me that really are not fully true, but that's probably the extent that they know of me. Am I flattered? Why would I be flattered? I've been a meme that everyone knows on the internet for many, many years. Jade says, hey, what's up? You made some big money yesterday? Tips were great. Tips, we actually raised as much as if I had hit both tips goals for 2 streams, which is outstanding. Actually, everything else was actually not that good. Super chats wasn't outstanding, and we had like 4 members. You're thinking if you're gonna do a giant marathon stream, hyped up, reacting down the rabbit hole, that people would be, going crazy. Nope, didn't happen. But that's okay. I was very pleased with the way that things went with engagement and with tips. I'm not gonna sit here and complain. That all helped. But it's funny because people were under the impression that me reacting to my own Down the Rabbit Hole was going to be the biggest thing I've ever done and epically huge. No, actually, when I did the Down the Rabbit Hole of Wings, it was way more popular and I got way more support, just being honest. So, Trevante says, I thought the Down the Rabbit Hole was an accurate doc about you. It was as accurate as you're going to get, even though it was a lot of half information or out of context information. That's why I did my reaction to it. And if you watch it, you're going to see, oh, okay, so it's technically true, but here's the perspective, so it makes sense. As opposed to, if you don't have perspective, now you think I'm just an asshole. There you go. Would I react to part 2 if it was made, if you mean about me? See, here's the thing, and this is what I've said about that Down the Rabbit Hole video. It covers factual things. Like, the things in that video happened. How do you know they happened? Because they're in the video. They're documented. It's pulled from the internet. A lot of the shit that has now happened in the last few years is not from a stream, is not from anything factual. It's all, oh, here's a conspiracy theory I came up with, and here's some information that may be something that alludes to it, but nothing is really definitive proof of anything, right? And by the way, all the shit that's been drama about me in the past few years has nothing to do with me and my content here. It's all shit that people try to invade my private life with, right? Like my whole bankruptcy proceeding and shit like that. That stuff's fucked up. There's a difference between, oh, we messed with Phil on his streams because his content sucks, or, oh, we're trying to ruin Phil's private life forever, I don't want to do that because that gives attention to people who are destructive. There's a difference between, oh, someone made a funny "this is how you don't play" video making fun of Phil's video game content versus, oh, here's a bunch of destructive videos trying to ruin Phil's fucking life permanently. No, I don't want to give attention to those scumbags. They don't deserve it, and that's completely the opposite of the point of what I was trying to do with my React series, so no, I don't want to do that. Audio Object said there's another doc on Wings post-surgery. I think it would be good React content. I don't want to do Wings again, right? Especially right now. We just did it a month ago, right? It's about a month ago now. Been there, done that. Maybe somewhere down the road I would consider doing that, but I want to move on to new stuff, other stuff. I don't want to be doing the same shit ad nauseum over and over and over. Already, I'll tell you, just getting that request now, it's boring to me. Like, I just did it. I'd rather save that for later, right? And by the way, it's not by Frederick Knudsen. I don't know who this documentary is made by, or if it's factual, if it's more drama. I have no idea. I would have to actually consult people, because I'm not going to do or react to a video that's bullshit, slander. I'm not doing it. I refuse. Eternal says we could see your love for wrestling during the Rumble. Yeah, I still have an affinity for pro wrestling. Absolutely. I wouldn't be following pro wrestling on social media if I didn't still care about it. It's just, I just don't have time for it in my life anymore. And it's just become too convoluted. It's too much of it. It used to just be, okay, WWE, Raw, SmackDown, and a pay-per-view. Great. Now it's WWE, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, all the developmental shit happening before, a million pay-per-views, all this social media shit. Oh, wait, there's AEW. They have 2 shows. They have pay-per-views. Wait, but what about New Japan? What about Ring of Honor? Oh, no. Done. Can't do it. I couldn't even catch up. I couldn't even watch all the WWE stuff. When I was trying to actually be in the know and stay up on all of it, just that stuff alone was too much, So, yeah, that's why I stopped watching it. Still like it though. Still like that fantasy match was very fun. Okay. Now there's been no comments for 2 minutes. Yet the stream still looks like it's working. What happened? Yes, I played Bayonetta 2. I did not like it. I thought Bayonetta 1 was great. It was an original fun concept back in the day. Back in the day, I hadn't played Devil May Cry, so that was actually really my first exposure to that style of gameplay. And then after that, I played the Devil May Cry games to understand, oh, okay, I see the frame of reference. This is where it kind of originated in Bayonetta, is maybe like the logical progression of that Devil May Cry formula. I didn't like Devil May Cry 2. I thought it was boring. It felt like you were playing the same game. It was on the Wii U, so it didn't run well. It ran like shit. I was disappointed. I didn't really like it at all. And by the way, you know, the first game, you got the Joe Pesci-like character making sexual jokes and stuff, and you're kind of laughing. Second game, it's kind of like cringe. You're like, oh, they're doing this again? You know, like, this is almost, like, stop this nonsense. It's so bad, you know? So, a third one? First of all, it's way too late for a third one. Seriously, it's way too fucking late for a third one. We've been going through, you know, waiting for so long for this iteration. By the time it comes out, I don't care about it. It's too long of a wait. And on top of that, it's just not that great of a game, you know? Yes, Lemon Cat, I do now consider Chris Rock and Scooby-Doo detractors because they ganged up on me yesterday in the ring. I absolutely do. They're a bunch of dicks. No, I've never smoked an actual blunt. I've had a joint before. There you go. No, I would not do a live feasting with the king. No. With members, that is. What about Metroid Prime 4, even though it's been a long wait? I don't know. I'll be honest. I like the classic Metroids. I played Metroid Prime 1, and I thought it was good. Like, I understood how they converted the formula from 2D to first person, but I just didn't like it that much. I thought the classic Metroid games are much better games than Metroid Prime was. A lot of people will disagree with me because they loved the Prime series, but I like the classics. Did I inhale? Yes, I inhaled a lot. Deep and hard. It destroyed my brain. That's why I'm so stupid today. There you go. Perfect McDonald's has really liked my recent streams, including the Forbidden City, WWE 2K22 Creator Wrestler, and then yesterday's Marathon. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad you're enjoying the streams. No, I'm not playing Evil Dead. I already explained a million times. It's too much of similar to other franchises I played and didn't really turn into good content for my channel after a couple sessions. I don't want to play a 4v1 multiplayer game. I've done it before, and I think it's a kind of a tired formula at this point. Even if they added in new additions to make it the best one ever, I'm still not that interested. I wish it was a story-based game with action and narrative and fun gameplay that was like a campaign. Instead, they went a different route, and I don't like that, so I'm not playing it. Do I drink tea? Not often. I like tea. I'll drink tea if, like, my throat is killing me or something. I'll drink some tea to help it. And I used to drink tea all the time when I was a kid. But in the morning, I have a cup of coffee. And then usually after dinner, I also have a cup of coffee. So, thank you to an anonymous tipper who just did a $20.07 tip. I don't know the significance of the 7 cents is. He said, let's get the ball rolling. Great stream yesterday. Caught it before work. Much respect for your daily grind to entertain us all. Well, thank you to the anonymous tipper for getting everything started here today. I really appreciate that. And that'll jump us to $20 in tips towards our first tiered goal of $50. Thank you. Okay, I got a question for all of you. Since you guys always ask me questions, I got a question for everyone here live on stream. Okay? What do you think of the new overlays and the new change to the text and everything? Are you liking it? And do you prefer it to the old one? Do you like the fact that this overlay can change color and that I'm changing the text to match the color and that every stream is a little different? Or did you like more stability with the old overlays? Same difference, says Canadian Nightmare. Nico says, I like it. Overlays and change of text are better and flashier. Looks good, says Wily Coyote. It's too distracting, says the pronoun detective. I like both, to be honest, says Scrupulous. I like the webcam frame for sure, says Lemon Cat. I think it's a modern, unique, sleek, beautiful design. The upgrades are nice, says Trevante. Looks good and is not distracting, says Madara. Yoshi Lover says, I love them. They're awesome. I think the changes are good, says Ryan. It's better, I guess, says D-Man Games. Cracker Jack says, I like it. Nice to have some change. Kevin says, any chance of Cody Rhodes DLC for WWE 2K22? I don't make the DLCs. I have no idea. You would think they would do it. He's popular right now, but I don't know. Audio Objects, I think it's good. Toto Wolf says, it's a change in color, but not too much difference for me. Kilamo says, new overlay 100%. Overlays will save the channel, says George. Wow. Kagome says it's good. I like the graffiti. It fits the rest of the vibe, says Greg. The graffiti. You mean this? Oh, well, I wasn't actually asking about the podcast overlay, but thanks for the feedback. Yeah, every day, as you know, I switch the podcast overlay. I have tons to go through between now for variety. And, you know, just this last week, I changed the camera border overlay as well as the overlay at the bottom. So I'm glad to hear you guys liked it because I like doing this. I like actually changing it every stream. Like Halo streams will probably always be green to match Halo, but other games I can like alternate until I find. Like I think Mirror's Edge red matches, you know, and some games will always have the same color. Maybe Skyrim I'll always do like the golden orange, but then other games I'll change. Like I think WWE we started red, but today I'm doing blue. Parzival loves it. John Smith loves it. My Ruin says, I don't care for the overlay. I'd rather have the half-inch of screen that is missing because of the overlay. Laughing out loud. The funny part is, I tend to agree with you. You might not realize this, but I think having the most amount of gameplay on the screen is beneficial. So, for example, if we switch over here, and my webcam is going to look really bad because it's the wrong... Oh, Jesus. That's really not correct. Let's move the webcam. I personally like having the most gameplay on the screen as possible. I guess I'll do this. Many content creators do not. Many content creators want to have gameplay in a smaller window, their webcam as a small window, and a ton of advertisements. I've seen so many of these kind of layouts. You can actually buy them. You can buy these layouts online, okay, to have this layout where you have a space for ads all over your fucking screen. You ever seen one of these fighting game tournament streams? Like, half the screen is ads for shit no one's going to buy. It's just junk, but they get paid to have it on the screen. I hate that. If you remember when I was doing my reaction to Down the Rabbit Hole Wings of Redemption, and we were watching the stupid Painkiller Already podcast, and like literally 1/3 of the screen is ads for fucking toothbrushes. Jesus Christ, you guys are losers. You gotta fucking advertise a toothbrush on your fucking show? Just fucking stop. Okay. I got a news flash for anyone out there. If you are an internet-based content creator and your show is about games or news or anything, and you have to advertise a toothbrush on your content to make a living, stop doing what you're doing and go get another job. Do something else. Just stop. You've already failed. It's absolutely ridiculous. Toothbrushes. But yeah, I tend to agree with you. I think that there should be the most amount of gameplay possible. If you're doing a gameplay stream, what should be the focus of it? The game, right? But the thing is, a lot of people are against that mentality. They're like, oh, I tune in for the person or the creator. I don't really tune in. They could be sitting there taking a shit and I'd watch it. They could be sitting there picking their nose and flicking the boogers at the webcam and I'd still watch it. So in that case, I guess they don't care that there's shit all over the screen and blocking everything, you know? This is hilarious. This guy says, you wish you could get sponsors. You're so hilarious, it's sad. Or you're so jealous, it's sad. First of all, I banned him because he's an asshole. He's wrong. I could have sponsors right now. Raid Shadow Legends is always breathing down my neck about being on my streams. I'm not kidding. They've contacted me multiple times. Indie games constantly want me to advertise their stuff. They write me an email. Here, I'll give you a code. Can you advertise? We'll pay you. I don't do any of it. I literally don't do that. I purposely don't do it. I could have any sponsor besides the big boys. I could have small to mid-level sponsors right now. I refuse to do it. I don't want that shit in my content. I want to make content that is meaningful to us, and then you fund it, and that's how it works. I completely ignore that shit, you know? Unreal. If I was offered $500,000 for a toothbrush sponsor, would I take it? Fuck no. No, I would not. I would not take it. I don't want toothbrushes on my fucking stream. I'm not an asshole. No, you want to know what advertisements I would like to do? A gaming peripheral that I like. Like, for example, if Hori had contacted me and said, we're going to send you this headset. We'd like you to try it and review it and, you know, show it off on your streams. and I actually liked it, then I would do that. You see, I would say, hey, check out the Hori wireless gaming headset for your neck, and it's a great way. I had ear infections and I couldn't wear headphones, and now I used it. That's something that I would consider doing. A product that I can stand by and I actually have faith behind, not a fucking toothbrush. Haha, that's funny. Greg just said, I find it funny now these people that don't like you have to subscribe to your channel just to harass you. It's pretty funny, isn't it? And they have to wait a whole day. And some of them make like 20 accounts. They're a bunch of fucking losers. HomoX says, how come you don't create more scenes in OBS so you don't have to keep manually resizing your webcam back and forth? I would have to do that no matter what. The way that it works is it's a video feed, and that video feed is a common video feed. And since that is the case, I have to resize it. There's no way. I couldn't have this webcam be 1080p in one frame and 480p in another. I have to do it manually. There's no way to do it outside of that. Maybe there is, and there's some weird technical wizardry, or maybe there's a future version of OBS I didn't update to that does that. But as of this version I use, if you're using the same video source, you have to manually change it around when you go between scenes if it's the same video source. Yeah. If a fighting stick company reached out to me, would I listen to the offer? Yes. I play fighting games regularly. That's something that I could actively test, review, and if I like it, advertise with confidence if I like it. Abso-freaking-lutely, I would do that. Yep. I have no idea. My version of OBS is insanely outdated. It's, no lie, it's OBS 21.1. That's probably 7 years old. I'm not kidding. Like, this is OBS from like a million years ago. But it works. So I never fucked with it. I'm going to have to get the new OBS when I upgrade my setup, for sure. I'm going to have to learn everything. I'm sure it's all different now. Don't I have a YouTube play button? It's right there. It's right there on the wall. Yep. I actually took it down and I had it in the background for a bit, but people really liked other stuff better. It was actually too reflective for the camera. It was kind of annoying. So I took it back and put it back on the wall. The graphics not in the way. It's off cam. The graphics not blocking. It's off camera. What's funny is that that's the old YouTube play button. That's the original one from back in the day. I got it a million years ago. I think I got that over a decade ago on DSPGaming. I got it within like a year of having DSPGaming. I hit 100,000 subs. So that's like 11 years old. The new YouTube play buttons look completely different. What is my current stance on getting a green screen? The same that it's always been. Can't do it now. Wouldn't work with my setup. I need to have better capabilities, a better lighting situation, a better webcam / camcorder that I'm going to use to record myself. There would have to be a series of improvements to my setup before I could get to the point where a green screen would even make sense. Do I have room behind me to do a green screen? Yes, I do. But we have to get to that point, and we have to figure it out. Like, what I'm thinking is I'd have to have one of those cloth green screens that can like unfold and stand on a stand behind you, and then I would have to get much better lighting. I'm using a really cheap lamp that probably a college student would use in their dorm room. That's what I have in here. I'd have to get like really professional lighting in here to get it to work. Would I make a cameo in an internet culture movie? Sure. I don't even know what you're talking about. What's an internet culture movie? I don't have a current favorite wrestler. I don't watch wrestling. I literally have said that multiple times on this PreStream podcast. I said, I don't watch wrestling. Who's your favorite wrestler right now? Damien Demento. I don't even know who that is. I just made up the name. Last few questions. Someone says, I feel like if you update your OBS, you'll have GPU encoding instead of CPU encoding. Wrong. That has nothing to do with that. OBS doesn't control that. What are you talking about? OBS is not going to make the encoding better. OBS doesn't encode. OBS is just a program through which everything else passes through and becomes a presentation. OBS does not encode the video. OBS is using your existing drivers, your existing hardware, your existing software to do the work, but it doesn't do the work itself. Doesn't matter if I update. Damien Demento's a real wrestler? I didn't even know that. I just made up the name. Okay, then. He fought Undertaker in his debut match. Maybe I probably heard the name somewhere over the years then, and it's stuck in the back of my head. There you go. Okay. On the first ever Raw? Why don't I remember that? I saw the first ever Raw when it was live on TV. I saw it with my parents. We watched it together. Okay. All right, guys. Last chance for a question. And then we're going to get started here with WWE. It's the last chance if you have anything to ask me before we boot her up. Whoa, would I consider working with local grassroots wrestling organizations as a commentator? I haven't seen you having that much fun in a long time. No, I don't care. I grew up watching pro wrestling. I like pro wrestling. I don't want to be involved with pro wrestling. I just want to enjoy it and watch it like all of you. I don't want to be a commentator. Mascot Vlogs, Poorly Cooking with the King was retired over a decade ago, and I'm never doing another one. Can't believe I still get questions about that. Do I ever shave? No. No. As you can tell, never. Totally, my beard doesn't grow any longer than this. Is my back doing? My back's fine. Yeah, I know I was having a little bit of back issues at one point. It seems fine again. I must have wrenched. I think what it is, I wrenched something in my upper back at one point, and it was really killing me. And I was having real discomfort. It was feeling odd. But for the most part, it's back to normal now. Yeah. I mean, that was months ago. Can we get a KO Gaming t-shirt? You want a t-shirt for a channel that's been defunct for 5 years? You really want that? Because I have the logos. I'm sure I could make one. But, I mean, it's kind of a weird thing to ask. All right. I think it's time to end the pre-stream. I think we've gone long enough. All right. Thank you guys for a great podcast, as always.